Good morning. It's Market Day Report. We're glad you're with us this morning. Weekly export sales numbers out. We'll break those down for you along the way. Wanted to start, though, by looking at a chart of the corn market and where we've been over the last month or so. Look at that. Just a slow, steady climb with a few dips along the way. And what about soybeans over the past month? Kind of the same thing. You know, they don't look all that different as you see the dip, the valleys and the peaks in there. And what about hard red winter wheat? Again, some valleys in there and some peaks, but we've really worked our way up from where we were 1 month ago today. I put that out to set the table for a discussion with Tommy Grisafi. Tommy is with Nesvick Trading, and we'll be going through the quotes as Tommy talks here, but you noticed it pretty quick. We opened the market, and we start seeing a lot of movement, right?
Yes, sir. That's real selling right on the open. We opened relatively calm. Then we've seen a little selling in corn, then followed by beans and wheat. Now, a guy like me or Scott Shaladay, we grew up in the pits. You could hear the roar. The funny thing is I'm sitting in Nashville at Nesvick, and you just see your tickets melt down. We call them ladders. But the price action when we switch, segments to cattle, cattle work so hard to put on $3 yesterday, and they took it off. So it's interesting. I feel like there was just some comments that came out of the White House, as you know, and buyer beware. This is a different administration. It has its pros and cons. Again, I apologized on set with Suzanne. I love the volatility. When Suzanne and I and Chris Swift were on, so selfishly, as someone who owns a seat and trades, I love the volatility. I'm back making money trading again. But from a hedging standpoint, from a CTA standpoint, from a risk management standpoint, these markets are moving so fast. If you don't understand volatility or understand how to get in and out of the market, maybe using an option strategy, now might be a good time to help. If you feel like you've been on this roller coaster and you want to get off, we're just getting started. We're a few weeks into the administration. And again, it's been said on your show and so many others, President Trump's not running for re-election, so he's going to come out hard, and a lot of people are going to like what he's doing. A lot of people aren't going to like what he's doing, and that's what happens in politics. But definitely, he's doing something, and you could feel that in the market, Tony.
Yeah, we're running through the market screen right now and really struggling to find anything in positive territory. Hard red July 606.5. It's off 4.25. Spring wheat, the July is a tick higher, but December, the new crop there at 665, and it's trading down a tick on the session. And the cotton market, December is actually up 8 points at 68.80, but look at the March contract. It's down at 66.14.
Yeah, those are
It's
low
up
levels.
10 points, but still a lot of pressure in these markets.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a wild ride. Note, the funds are really long. I watch Karen Braun from Reuters. She puts out great charts on X. Big shout out to Karen. But the funds are getting longer at the top. And what happens is when everyone wants out, it could be really ugly. So we'll see what happens. I'm enjoying the volatility. That is such a selfish thing to say. If you don't like volatility, you shouldn't be involved in markets.
Tommy Grisafi's with Nesvick Trading. We'll take a break, come back, and talk livestock markets next. Market Day Report continues after this. Cash cattle is developing and should be driving the live cattle market throughout the session today. We also have weekly export sales. We're working our way through those numbers. And then box beef, some movement there. Lots of news when it comes to the livestock markets. Let's look at what's happened over the last 6 months in the live cattle market. It's pretty interesting. Again, we see that top in there a little over a week ago as we make the all-time record highs in the live cattle market. We've come off of it a little bit. Maybe this one shows it a little clearer as we hit the top, and now we've started sliding down. We've had two kind of good dips in there. I say good, significant dips in there, and have tried to work our way back up. So where do we go with that? And what about the feeder market? Again, same thing there. We're under pressure this morning on the open, and then the hog market. has just continued to fall and come back up to where it was before. Tommy Grisafi is with Nesvick Trading in Nashville. And Tommy, as we kind of look at what's happening in the proteins, what catches your eye?
I was impressed how calm the rally was yesterday, how calm and organized. We opened up, traded both sides, and just started to trend up. When cattle were up 250, you could kind of feel they're just going to have a good day. Totally different story. I love being on the show with you, but the second we get done, I'm getting back to my desk. I got to scrub these news wires and figure out if I didn't know better, a comment came out. I don't see my phone blowing up with Trump said this, Trump said that. I did see a little bit of talk about China, and he said he's going to get crude oil down, but that's not a new rhetoric, right? And so you got to understand this president ran with the idea that we're going to get prices down. Now, so on a side note, there's some that came out of the UK, and the UK lowered interest rates, I believe, overnight. When I was walking over to Nesvick, I was looking at X like everyone else does, and they're already talking about stagflation. Now, you and Scott and others talk about stagflation. That's not a good word. Stagflation is not a good word. So you have inflation. We know how to deal with that. You have deflation, and we know how to deal with that. But stagflation, that's a weird one. So we got to be careful as people who produce commodities. When these funds, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but you need to hear it. When the funds get as long as they have, it can become dangerous. Check out Carly Garner's X. Carly put out some great charts 2 days ago on cattle, and she was on Scott's show yesterday, and she was showing that these cattle could go a lot lower based on chart formation. So a lot of risk. The funds are really long cattle. For us to open up, me to look over and say feeders are down 550. Tony, our limits only used to be 300 in cattle just a few years ago. Now we casually are on the show saying feeders are down 550. So love to be on here. We got to wrap it up probably because I got to get back to my desk and start smiling and dialing, my friend.
By the way, it's National Optimist Day, and that's exactly what you are. Tommy Grisafi's with Nesvick Trading and joining us this morning.